Hello, and welcome to my channel, where I mostly share my love of fragrance and enjoying my collection. In this video, I'll be reviewing the new Zara Chapter 7 Vanillas collection. Thank you so much for stopping by, and let's get started. Zara has released yet another perfume collection in their Chapters line, and the new Chapter number 7 is centered around vanilla scents. I was interested in trying all of them because I love vanilla fragrances, but Zara really needs to calm down on the perfume launches. They're releasing so many scents that it's hard to keep up and have some time to enjoy the ones that I've already purchased. The Vanillas collection includes 4 new fragrances, and I picked all of them up. They come in the tall, round bottles typically used for the colored leather line, only this time they're in a slightly translucent black glass bottle. While the liquid for each scent is tinted differently, it's a bit hard to tell them apart, but when you line them up, you can see a subtle gradation across the bottles. I don't mind this style of bottle, but I wish the colors were lighter, as it's hard to see the juice inside and it doesn't feel very pretty to me. The collection is offered in 2 sizes, 1 ounce for $17.90 and 2.7 ounces for $35.90 US. All of my bottles in this video are the larger size. The collection includes Hypnotic Vanilla, described as addictive and hypnotic, a radiant feminine bouquet embraced by the richness of golden vanilla. Supreme Vanilla, described as a feminine and sophisticated fragrance, an inky accord associated to a pink sugar note sublimate a captivating vanilla with notes of tonka beans and cedarwood. Starlight Vanilla, described as the purest abstraction, an exquisite nectar of almond and tonka bean dressed in an enveloping ambery vanilla signature. And Vanilla Vibration, described as a charming vanilla nectar irresistibly infused with the witty scent of papyrus and powdery iris flower. And now let's get on to the reviews. The first scent in the collection is Hypnotic Vanilla, and this has main notes of apricot blossom, jasmine, bourbon vanilla, moss, and dulce de leche, as well as heliotrope and hawthorn. And this opens with soft, powdery florals and a warm, slightly syrupy vanilla. I feel like the heliotrope is adding a slight almondy quality, and there's also a rich caramel sweetness. I'm not really getting the moss, as I don't get any greenness or earthiness in the scent, but it does have a bit of that Play-Doh-like quality that vanillas can sometimes have, but it's very light and not as heavy as it was in Vanilla Violet Orchid, which they released earlier this year. To me, this is a powdery, creamy vanilla floral, drizzled with sweet caramel and touches of almond. I love powdery scents and sweet vanillas, so I really like this one. It feels effortless and pretty. And for comparisons, first I have Hypnotic Poison Eau de Parfum from Dior. And this has top notes of licorice and almond, mid notes of jasmine sambac and orange blossom, and base notes of vanilla and tonka bean. And I have the 2014 version of the EDP. I haven't tried the EDT, so I can't compare with that one. But this is a sweet almondy vanilla with pretty white florals and a bit of a powdery feel. It also has a prominent licorice note that gives it a sort of spicy quality. These are pretty similar powdery vanilla floral scents, but Hypnotic Poison has the added spicy kick from the licorice, while Hypnotic Vanilla has a more caramel sweetness. Next is Valentina Poudre from Valentino, which has a top note of ambrette, mid notes of iris and tuberose, and base notes of vanilla, tonka bean, and sandalwood. And this is a powdery iris scent with fluffy ambrette and a soft woodiness. The vanilla and tonka add a nice sweetness that has a bit of a lipsticky quality, and it is somewhat similar to Hypnotic Poison. These share the powdery floral and vanilla, but Valentina Poudre veers more towards fluffy powdery marshmallow with the added lipsticky feel, while Hypnotic Vanilla is more almond and caramel. And then I have from Juliette Has a Gun, and this has top notes of geranium, neroli, and raspberry, mid notes of jasmine, orange blossom, and tuberose, and base notes of patchouli and sandalwood. And this is a sweet, powdery floral with a fruity touch from the raspberry and a bit of earthy woodiness. It also has a syrupy vanilla that has a sugary, almondy quality. These share the powdery floral and sweet, creamy vanilla, but has the added fruitiness and woodiness, while Hypnotic Vanilla is heavier on the almond and caramel. The next scent in the collection is Supreme Vanilla. And this has notes of tonka bean, cedarwood, Madagascar vanilla, and pink sugar, along with a tinted accord that I guess is supposed to be ink. And this opens with rich, sweet tonka, as well as some woodiness. After a couple minutes, I did pick up on the inky note, which to me feels sort of smoky and earthy. It's not bad, but I kind of wish they hadn't added it, as it just feels unnecessary. I waited to see how long it would last, and I feel like it started to fade more into the background around 20 minutes in, but I could still catch whiffs of it here and there. Once that inky note softened, the sweetness started to amp up with more sugary vanilla, and the scent felt dark and sweet and woody, with hints of the smokiness. To me, this is a sugary, woody vanilla that has a dark, smoky quality, and I do like it, but again, I wish they'd left the tinted accord out. It does seem to get sweeter and less smoky the longer I wear it though. And for comps, first I have Black Opium Le Parfum from YSL, with notes of coffee, white flowers, and a quartet of vanilla. And this is a rich, warm vanilla with jasmine and a bit of a spicy quality. And of course it has the traditional Black Opium coffee note. To me, it's Black Opium with amped up vanilla, and I do prefer it to the original. These both have a rich vanilla, but Black Opium Le Parfum is more floral and has the touch of spice, while Supreme Vanilla has the smokiness and a more sugary feel. Next is Vanilla 28 from Kayali, which has keynotes of vanilla orchid, tonka absolute, amber woods, musk, and brown sugar. And this is a sweet vanilla floral with tonka and brown sugar. The woody amber gives it some warmth, and the musk keeps it from feeling heavy. To me, it's a sweet, syrupy vanilla with a heap of brown sugar and a soft floral. These share the sugary vanilla and tonka combo, along with woods, but Vanilla 28 is sweeter with richer sugar, while Supreme Vanilla is more dark and smoky. These are not exact dupes, and I have to say I prefer Vanilla 28. Then I have the 7 Virtues Vanilla Woods, and this has a top note of pear, a mid note of rose, and base notes of vanilla, amber, and caramel. And it starts out with a lot of tart pear and a subtle floral, but it turns into a sweet vanilla with sugary caramel. Despite having no wood notes listed, there is something in it that adds a dark, almost smoky quality. These both have a sugary vanilla sweetness and that dark quality, but Vanilla Woods has the added fruitiness and less of the smokiness that's in Supreme Vanilla. And the next scent in the collection is Starlight Vanilla. And this has main notes of lavender, almond milk, vanilla foam, and amber, in addition to tonka bean. And this opens with lavender that's not too strong or herbal, and it has some sweetness as well as a resinous balsamic feel. There's a lightly milky quality, and the almond feels soft and isn't as prominent or nutty as in Hypnotic Vanilla. The scent also has a warm, ambery feel, and I get more tonka than vanillic sweetness. I'm not a fan of lavender, so I was a bit worried about this one, but it doesn't feel too aromatic or off-putting. To me, this is a milky vanilla with tonka and lavender, and an overall resinous quality. I think this one is interesting. It's not an instant love, but I don't dislike it either. It does continue to sweeten as it dries, and I do think I'm going to enjoy it, but I feel like I need to test it out some more. It seems like this may be similar to Jo Malone's Myrrh and Tonka, but unfortunately I don't have that one, so I can't compare them. It's actually been on my list to pick up for a while, so if Starlight Vanilla is indeed similar, I'm happy to save some money and enjoy it instead. And for comps, first I have Bois Doré from Van Cleef Arpels, which has top notes of pepper and mineral notes, mid notes of vanilla, almond, tobacco, and cedar, and base notes of tonka bean, teakwood, and musk. And this is a beautiful, sweet, woody vanilla that's heavy on the almond. It has a hint of spiciness, as well as a sort of bright, effervescent quality from the mineral notes. It's creamy and warm, and there's a bit of powderiness from the tonka bean. These both have vanilla with almond and tonka, and they do have a similar feel. But Bois Doré is sweeter with heavier almond, while Starlight Vanilla is more resinous and has the added lavender. Next is Datura Noir from Serge Lutens, And this has top notes of mandarin and lemon blossom, mid notes of osmanthus, heliotrope, tuberose, vanilla, coconut oil, and apricot, and base notes of myrrh, bitter almond, tonka bean, and musk. And this is a creamy floral with some bright citrus and a bit of a powdery feel. The vanilla takes a back seat to the tuberose, but the coconut, almond, and tonka add additional sweetness, and it also has an almost spicy, resinous quality from the myrrh. These share the vanilla, almond, and tonka mix, along with a resinous feel, but Datura Noir is brighter, more floral, and has citrusy touches, while Starlight Vanilla is more creamy and has the lavender. Then I have Tangier Vanille from Aerin, which has top notes of plum, rose, and bergamot, mid notes of vanilla, myrrh, and saffron, and base notes of amber, cashmere wood, tonka bean, and sandalwood. And this is a spicy yet sweet vanilla, with a light rose that mixes nicely with the saffron. The amber and woods add warmth, while the plum gives it a little fruitiness. The sweet tonka and vanilla, combined with the resinous myrrh, produce a deep, rich, warm, spicy scent. These both have vanilla and tonka bean, along with the resinous feel. But Tangier Vanille has more vanillic sweetness, as well as the spice and a fruity touch, while Starlight Vanilla is more milky and aromatic. And the last scent in the collection is Vanilla Vibration. And this has main notes of cardamom, violet, iris, orange blossom, and vanilla, as well as amber and papyrus. And this opens really strongly, and not in a pleasant way. The cardamom is spicy, and the papyrus smells kind of like wet paper, with a foresty, earthy woodiness. It takes a while for the other notes to come in, and when I finally start to get some vanilla, it's quite soft and not very sweet, while the iris and violet add a soft, powdery floral. I kept waiting for the scent to get sweeter and more vanillic, and it did a tiny bit, but I don't really feel like this is a vanilla-forward fragrance. To me, this is an aromatic, spicy, woody scent with a very light vanilla and powdery iris. There's just a hint of sweetness, and it feels more unisex to me. This one honestly isn't something I see myself reaching for. I'm not sure if I've tried a fragrance with papyrus before, and I've never cared much for cardamom either, so the combination of those notes is overshadowing the rest of the fragrance for me. I will say though that as I left it on my skin longer, the vanilla did pull forward a bit more, and it was actually sort of pleasant and subtly sweet. And for comps, first I have Zara's Tuesday, also known as Totally Terrific, from the Weekly Mood collection. And this has top notes of bergamot and lemon, mid notes of iris and cardamom, and a base note of vanilla cream. And this is a bright, citrusy scent with a creamy vanilla floral. It has a kick of spice from the cardamom, as well as soft powdery iris and sweet vanilla cream. As it dries, it gets sweeter, and I'm left with creamy, lemony goodness and a gourmand, sugary quality. I think this is being compared to Vanilla Vibration because it's also a recent Zara release with iris, cardamom, and vanilla. And while they both have the spicy cardamom and powdery quality, I don't find them to be that similar. Totally Terrific is sweet and creamy and lemony, and it doesn't feel at all like the woody and aromatic Vanilla Vibration. Next is Midnight Shimmer from Michael Kors, with notes that include quince, jasmine, vanilla, amberwood, Peru balsam, moss, and musk. And this is a sweet, warm, slightly sugary vanilla with soft jasmine and fruity aromatic quince. It's very woody, and it has an ambery earthiness, as well as a lightly powdery feel. At first, I felt this had no connection to Vanilla Vibration, as it resembled Supreme Vanilla more. But when this dries down, it actually does have a bit of a similar feel. These are both very woody, with a powdery and aromatic quality. But Midnight Shimmer is much sweeter and vanillic, while Vanilla Vibration's papyrus and cardamom push the vanilla to the back. And lastly, I have Bois de Riz from Van Cleef Arpels, which has notes of iris, driftwood, vanilla, incense, myrrh, sugar, amber, vetiver, and labdanum. And this is a powdery, woody floral with incense. The vanilla and sugar give it a subtle sweetness, but it has a really warm, spicy quality as well. These share the spicy, woody vanilla, along with powdery iris and an earthy feel. But Bois de Riz is a bit sweeter, and the earthy woods aren't as prominent as in Vanilla Vibration. So that's it for my review of the new Chapter 7 Vanillas collection from Zara. I think that this is an interesting group of scents, and if you want to try a variety of vanillas with different nuances, then you might want to give some of these a try. I want to note that while some of these are sweet, they're not super sweet, sugary, gourmand vanillas, so keep that in mind if that's the type of vanilla you prefer. I wish they had included one of those in the collection, but that's just my personal preference. I feel like performance was average for Zara perfumes, and none of these stood out as particularly strong, but Hypnotic Vanilla lasted the longest on my skin, followed by Supreme Vanilla. I wanted to quickly recap the scents since it can be confusing with them all being vanillas, and I will note which are my favorites as well. Hypnotic Vanilla is a delicate, powdery vanilla with touches of caramel and almond, and it is by far my favorite scent in the collection. Supreme Vanilla is a dark, woody, sugary vanilla with a smoky quality, and once I get past the weird inky note, I do like the scent a lot. Starlight Vanilla is a milky vanilla with tonka and lavender, and it has a resinous quality. I enjoy this one despite the lavender, and while it's not overly sweet, I do find it very interesting. And Vanilla Vibration is a spicy, aromatic, woody scent with powdery iris and a light vanilla, and it's clearly my least favorite. It's the only one I would say I sort of dislike. The dry down is actually not bad, but it just takes too long to get there for me. Let me know what you think of these scents and if you're going to give any of them a try. Thank you for watching. I hope that you'll subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.